So my trees aren't falling yet. Oh, by the way, you just went live now. We weren't live this whole
No,
time.
we came out and we went back in. Don't worry about it.
Oh, I
Yeah,
just want
got,
to make sure because that
when you
time
went
we,
out and came back in, whatever.
yeah,
Yeah,
that
it
time we
was
were
like
doing anal, that time we were having anal, and you
okay,
were like,
we were already live then, boo. Okay, so
yeah, but I just wanted to make sure if anybody missed
we
missed
were
it in
broadcasting
between, if they
platforms,
missed it in
so we just
between,
had to go back into YouTube. We were
yeah,
all okay. Please, please, please,
yo, I'm just saying.
please.
Right?
And StreamYard of Zoom does this, but StreamYard everything. So I could just edit and re-upload anytime. So enough with the anal. Me,
I,
you can anal sex anybody else. Just with me. Enough with the anal
yo,
sex, please,
well,
please.
I
I had a
mean, yeah,
baby. I have a child. Hello.
you do have a
Okay.
child, you do have a child.
Okay. Thank you. He
You
doesn't
also
watch
try to give
anything I
you
do,
try
but
to give me
still.
herpes. You tried to give me herpes. And I'm just, are you gonna edit that out? You're gonna edit that out.
I really don't like you. I really don't like you.
That's the problem, Heather J. You want to not like me, but you do actually like me. You've tried to not like me. You're
That
like,
is
yo,
so true.
you're so obnoxious. Like, why are you like this? But you also encourage me. You have
I
you
really
have
do
one of the
want you to
most
be yourself.
contagious
I do like you. I
laughter.
really do. I really do like you. I really do
Yeah,
think you're an amazing person. I really do.
I
But
appreciate
you
you.
also work my nerves. But
Oh, I
it's
do.
okay. It's you don't.
Right.
Who am I? You don't. I don't have to love
You're
everything you
Heather
do.
J. I
It's okay.
enjoy Heather J. Heather is one of my favorite people. Even though one
Are
time,
we
can I bring
live?
this up? Yeah,
Are
we're
we
live. Heather, I'm going on record. You're one of my favorite people. Even though one time you distinctly thought that I had seen you somewhere and didn't say hi to you when I just
let's
didn't
talk
see
about
you.
not doing this with you? I'm
I want to bring that up right now because that really like I'm
Melanie,
not
go
even
live
the
and check him,
not say
please.
hi person.
We
I'm not the
watched
not
you.
say hi person. Like if I
We
see you and I
watched
want to
you.
say hi, I don't remember. I didn't see you. I honestly didn't see you. I could have been in my headspace just somewhere else where I wasn't paying attention.
Look at me
I
dead in my
know.
face at three
I'm
feet
dead
away.
serious. I'm dead serious.
Okay.
I'm just not. I'm not. This happens. It comes up. Other people have said something similar. Sometimes in my mind, even though I'm here, I'm not here. I'm just
Okay.
thinking something
Okay.
else.
Can we just let it go?
No, because it still
Let
offended
it go.
me
I'm
that
not
you thought
tripping.
I
I'm
would
not
see
giving you
you
grief
and
about
not
it. I'm
say
not
hi
tripping. I
and
said
not
what I
say
had to
hi.
say. I said what I had to say about it, and I'm done with it. Like I'm. Also, that was a year ago. Okay, can we just be clear? Like that was a year ago.
I'm
That
petty.
was that was
So I hold
pre-COVID.
grudges. I'm petty. You know what I'm
That was
saying?
pre-COVID Heather J. Okay, pre-COVID Heather is not the same as COVID Heather.
Mm-hmm.
COVID Heather ain't arguing with nobody about nothing.
Okay.
Okay, so if you see me today and don't want to speak, I don't even care anymore. Tomorrow, people are dying. Okay, I don't care anymore. Okay,
Yo,
so
let me tell everyone. People were dying then too. Like, it's just, I
yeah,
get
but
it.
they weren't people I knew,
Oh yeah, yeah, that's
so
true.
that's a little different.
That's a
So
very that's a great way to
you're
be.
right. People dying the whole time, right? Why are we just not acting like we about death? We still don't care. Okay, fine. Okay, fine.
Actually, less people have died this year because there's been like less things. Less people have died this year
Less
than
school
other
shootings
years.
for sure. Okay, so to the topic, okay,
Mm.
because you wildin', okay.
You knew
Like I
what
knew
it
you
was.
would.
You knew
Like I
what
knew
it
you
was
would.
when you brought me on the show. You knew. Like, why are you acting brand new? Like you
I
just
didn't know
met
you
me.
were gonna. I didn't know the anal thing
Yes,
was gonna happen.
yes,
I did.
yes,
I knew
you
you
did.
were. I knew you were gonna tell me why you don't want to be with anybody. Like I knew you were gonna go off on a whole tangent about how you don't. You don't care what people feel and all that because you've actually said all that to me before. So I was ready for that. But what I
Sure.
really just needed you to be was like, can we just talk about dating? It's stupid. I know. I know. Tell them again. It's stupid. Just in case the people on YouTube didn't hear.
Dating
You're
stupid.
okay.
All right. Oh, please continue.
Okay. What's the best date you've ever been on?
Best date? I mean, the best date is if you just come over and
Let anal. Is this gonna end in anal?
no, no. If you just come over and like actually watch the movie. I'm gonna tell you because if we're watching a movie and you want to like interact with me, and I put on a movie, I'm like I get annoyed if you don't understand the movie the way I need you to understand a
Is
movie.
it a complicated movie? You have to keep it
Appreciate the movie
simple.
and appreciate a movie. And if you can't get complicated movies, you're not gonna get me. So I'm just letting you know now.
Give me an example of a movie people didn't understand
I mean, I will tell you.
that you
Okay,
felt was appropriate to watch on a date.
uh,
I mean, was
uh,
it Dune? Was it The English Patient? I mean, Schindler's List. What are you having people watch on dates?
Schindler's
It's
List is
supposed to be
actually
fun.
it's a good movie. Here's my thing.
That's why I
I will
won
watch
a million.
I will watch I will watch a good movie. You know what I'm saying? We can watch a good movie. We can watch any. I mean, I'm watching good movies. It's not like I'm watching inappropriate date movies. I think for if you have questions about Django, I can't be your friend. Like I just if you're like, oh, what's gonna happen? Or you like, who's that? Like, yo, just watch the movie and the
So
movie
okay,
will explain it to you.
let's just recap. The best date where do you take off the robe? Do you put on clothes when she comes over, or is it just?
I mean, I
I
tend
feel
to
like I feel like this is a date outfit for you. Like I feel like it's what you see is what you get with you.
I mean, I am a what you see is what you get person.
Does she
My
need to dress up for this date? Can she
uh
also wear a
I
robe
I
and a
actually like when girls dress down. I like the you know, hair tied, sweatpants with no makeup on line. You know what I'm saying? Like I prefer just be comfortable. There's a time to dress up, but if we're
oh,
about to get to know each other, then just get to know each other.
okay, so what's the worst date? Then if that's the best, then what's the worst? Because I mean, you got to understand, women are listening right now and they're thinking you just don't want to spend any money. We'll get into that in a minute because I believe your reason for saying that's a good date, but everybody doesn't know you. And let's be real, if the average guy said that, it's kind of.
I'm
But
actually
because
that's a good date, and we're not hooking up. Like I'm not hooking up. Like I'm like, yo, we're actually watching a movie. On the worst date, the worst date. I'm trying to think. I just haven't really. That's my problem is I haven't even dated enough for these questions to be as applicable to me. The
you have
worst date
been on a date, you are
been on a date.
3,000 years
Oh,
old. You started
I will
dating at
tell you,
16.
yo, I need you to stop. Okay,
I'm just
I
saying
need you to stop.
I'm just saying you've dated for 20 years. Stop playing and tell me
You
about a
you
bad
have a
date.
you have a son my age. All right, so listen, I don't even want to speak to you right now. I don't want to speak to you right now, and you wasn't saying any of this. So look, okay, I got the worst date. So there was this girl that everybody insisted I need to hang out with because she was attractive. They knew nothing about this person. So I hung out with her. Now I was hanging out with her. She's very attractive. And she's one of those people who has a following just because of how attractive she is.
Okay.
So, but we were talking, and anyone who knows me knows that you throw out the term heterosexual, sure, but I'm very much a sapiosexual. You need to stimulate my intellect for me to find you attractive.
Mm,
Attraction, to be attracted to you. Attraction and attractive are two different things. So
okay.
while you can be very attractive, I may not be attracted to you. She was very attractive, and we were talking, and I was going to Puerto Rico that weekend for a shoot, and she was like, "Oh, you should take me with you," and I was like, "Oh, it's already said, ha ha ha, or whatever," and she was like, "Oh, it's okay, I don't have my passport anyway." So I could have just let it go. Any other guy would have just let it drop, and I was like, why would you need your passport? And she's like, oh, because Puerto Rico's overseas. And I was like, yes, it's technically over AC, but
Right.
you don't need your passport to go to Puerto Rico. It's part of the United States. Do you need your passport to go to Vegas? And she was like, no, but you fly over the ocean. I was like, do you need your passport to go to Hawaii? And she's like, yeah, but that's
This is
where
bad.
yeah.
Why are you
And
doing
so
this?
because you know me, Heather, you know me,
I
you
do.
know how I am. So I was like, yo, Puerto Rico, and I explained how it's a territory. She's like, and I was like, but they call them Puerto Ricans. And I was like, you call them Hawaiians, like they're still American citizens. So we had this whole conversation. I had to look it up for her. She had to
You
read
call them New
about it.
Yorkers. Okay.
No, exactly. Like we went through a whole thing. So then she was like, well, hey, when you come back, let's hang out. And I was like, I don't think we can do that. She's like, really? Why not? I was like, you want me to come over to your place when I come back? You and I, we're gonna get together. We're gonna have sex. It's gonna be amazing. You're gonna get pregnant. you're gonna get pregnant. I can already tell you're the type of girl that gets pregnant, and
Mm.
then
What's
you're
that
gonna
look like?
and you're gonna keep the child. We're gonna keep this child. This son's gonna grow up, and then my son's gonna go on Jeopardy. My son or daughter is gonna grow up and go on
And I
Jeopardy
know Puerto
and
Rico's a territory.
lose
Okay.
because because his horror mom doesn't know that Puerto Rico is part of the United States. And it was
That's
like
so mean. You are
that's
so
how
mean.
I mean I
So mean.
definitely said this to her, right? So,
Mm.
but I mean, that's just how that was. I mean, I felt like me saying that made it a good date, but that was probably like a not.
Let me tell my listeners, this is the most Hollywood story anybody could ever tell. Okay. It started off with I'm going to Puerto Rico for a shoot. And she's really pretty and she has a following just for being fine. This is not a DC story, which is where he's from. This
I'm
is a
from DC. I have a
this is
lot of
LA
DC
story. This
stories.
is an
I have
LA
a lot of
story.
DC stories.
Um she was maybe you don't have to be a sapiosexual just so you know. That's just basic all with a high school diploma. Okay. Like a
I'm
girl
just
that
saying.
passed standardized testing.
I mean,
Okay, don't turn that into some deep sapiosexual. No, you just want a girl that understands US where the US begins and ends. Okay.
yo, but
Like,
I'm just saying, like, I have DC stories. I have DC stories. I went.
what's the
We went
difference? Like what? Like if you can name one difference between LA dating and DC dating.
wholesomeness.
Who's they're more wholesome in DC?
You know what? It's something that I've realized now. Now that I'm in the twilight of my life,
Honey,
right?
own it. Own it,
I've
baby. You look
realized
good. You look
now
good.
that I'm in the twilight of my life, um, I've realized that the women in DC are a little more wholesome in those aspects. Like I would be much more reluctant to have a family with a girl in LA than I would with a girl in DC.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
That makes
Just
a
that
lot of sense.
those attributes. And it's something I've realized now that I'm here because when I was in DC, of course, whenever you're in an environment, you get used to that environment and so
Mm-hmm.
you take that environment for granted no matter where it is, right? That's why
Right.
people in LA freak out when it rains. You're so used to it never raining that when it
Right.
does rain, you're like, I'm melting. And some of the people actually do melt. But
Nobody melts.
I saw this woman just melt. Her implants floated away. It was a whole thing.
It was just puddles of silicone boobs.
It was
You are
literally,
so
I saw
stupid.
this guy. I saw this guy. His hair just melted.
You are so stupid.
His nose. Okay.
Okay, this was my best date. And this is sad because I wasn't a kid when this happened. I was a grown woman when this happened. Best date ever was the date where the guy was trying to impress me by taking me to like this foo restaurant.
Mm.
That's just not me. Like stuff like that don't impress me. I did too much when I was young. I don't care. But I was like, okay, fine. But I had to work my day job and I got off really late. So he was like, meet me at this, this hotel with this little fancy bar. We can have dinner and drinks. I had to go home. I had to put a dress on. By the time I got there, the restaurant was closing. Like it was just like, and I was like, I'm sorry. And I was like, yo, you want to go to this little hipster dive bar around the corner that I go to? We were way overdressed. Went there, we went from $15 martinis to $2 shots. You know what I mean? Like, and it was just we were just ourselves, and it was cool. It was great, and he couldn't have planned it. I like spontaneity. I don't like plans because plans create expectation, and men don't know this. But one of the reasons why women clown on dates is because of the work they're putting into it. Getting my hair done, getting my nails done, putting these Spanx on, this corset on. The more she does, the higher her expectation goes. And by the time she's done dialing up, you got to be Cary Grant. You know what I mean? Like you got to be Roger Moore in any James Bond film just to measure up to what she's hoping you'll be. But if she just puts on jeans and some jeans and a little jacket and goes and meets you at Starbucks, her expectation is low, and you can therefore win. And men never believe me when I'm telling them. I'm telling you, dude, start low. People gotta earn those candlelight dinners. Stop trying to take
I
people to
agree.
Fleming's
You
on
gotta
the
earn
first
it.
date. You gotta earn it because I might not even like you that much. Like I might. The first date is me trying to see if I even enjoy your company. What
I
if
agree.
I don't enjoy your company? Not I'm being a gold digger. Not I'm using you for curiosity. I literally am sitting across the table from you and you're boring me stiff. It's not your fault. But now you spend $150. Of course you feel played. But I didn't ask you to do that. You know, I didn't ask you that. This is what you thought you needed to do. Shout out to the women that demanded, because you guys are messing it up for everybody. Low key, you're messing it up for everybody. The purpose of the date is not to eat a good meal. The purpose of the date is to get to know and see if you like this guy. Now, the worst date I ever had, which brings me to my next segue. Worst date I ever went on, ironically, around the same time, was with a guy that had the manners of a barn animal. This dude had never been off the block a day in his life, and it showed. And I mean, he was like the dude that walk in like, yo, can we get seated? You know, like, hey, let me get it, you know. And he just like embarrassed, like, shh, oh my God, stop. Why are you yelling? Why are you yelling? And this, people don't believe me when I tell them this. He ordered, we went to a restaurant that's kind of like a little jazz, bougie little black owned spot in Detroit called They Say. They Say has really good food. People know them for it, and they're known for their wings. Okay. And he came in like, I heard the wings was good. And I was like, yeah, they're like, like they're fine. Calm down. Did he want some wings? So he asked the waitress, and he was really trying to, like, he was doing that thing where I have money, so I don't have to have anything else going for me, which is a complete fallacy, fellas. Like, money does not excuse. You still got to have personality. You still got to have class. Just like her being fine. She still got to know where Puerto Rico is. You know what I'm saying? Like,
for me,
for all of us,
she dated Michael B.
like
Jordan, and she was fine. Like, for me.
I'm just saying, like, you know, okay, so I put a woman being beautiful with a guy having money. Like, they're good, but they're not enough. Like, you still need other things. So he was just like, order whatever you want and all this. And I'm just like, of course I am. Like, why are you telling me? Of course I'm going to order whatever I want. So we get our drinks and everything. And he asked the waitress, like, so I heard the wings were good. She's like, oh yeah, they're, you know, top rated, whatever. He was like, how do they come? And she's like, well, you can get like an 8-piece or a 12-piece or 24. And he was like, I want the 24. Then looked at me and said, what are you getting? And I was like, are you about to eat 24 wings by yourself? Like, are you about to gorge your greedy sloth, deadly sin?
Your finger,
and he sat there and he ate those wings. And I was like,
yeah, girl.
And he just ate these wings, and I was just so disgusted with him. And I was just like, you are a pig. Like, I was just like, I don't care. I don't care if you make.
And by the way, wings aren't like very delicate to eat. Wings are like just.
I'm okay with a man being a man. I know he doesn't have to have his pinky finger up. You like wings, you want the wings, that's fine. They're gonna give you wet naps. Okay. But are you about to eat 24 in one sitting by yourself? I think you're a pig now. I think you're greedy. Okay. You have no self-control. And then we left and he wanted to go get drinks. I was so ready. I was like, we could just like, we ate, we drank. They had alcohol here. We don't need to go anywhere else. But it was like this forced double date, which was why you can never fix me up. I don't care if it's Chris Brown. I don't care if it's Brad Pitt. I'm not doing hookups of any kind. Because I realize that my friends, they don't really know me. I think they know me, and then they hook me up with somebody, and I'm like, you don't know me at all. Like, you really thought I wanted to watch this man eat 24 wings. So then, you know, but that, like, the other couple wanted to go. There was a homeless man on the street. He kicked him and told him to get a job. And I was like, he was like, take your ass to work. And I was like, oh, I'm standing in the middle of the street, like, oh, did you kick him?
Heather, you need to give. I have tears in my eyes.
Worst date ever.
Yo,
I wanted to fight him. Like, I literally wanted to fight him.
Why does it sound like the best date right now? Why does that just sound?
I wanted to.
Yo, you need to stop being friends with your friend. By the way,
but low key, that was like, we're not cool anymore. Like, low key,
I need to get water really quick.
I hated her. I hated the guy she was with. Where you go? Okay, Spice. This is exactly what Spice did. People just get up and walk away. Where did he go? We got to edit the part out where Tehran took a break. It's his world. We just in it. And if it's technical difficulties on Facebook, I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to fix it. but I'm just gonna probably come back and re-upload it later because I have it saved or whatever. That's all I could do. I have no idea where he is and what he's doing. You back, Poppy? You just took a break?
Yeah.
You just took a break?
I
We
had
can
to
take
take.
5. You just
I had to take a break. I had to take a break. I needed. Listen, I actually spit water out when you said that joke. Okay.
you messed my momentum up. But
Yo,
it's
when
cool. It's
I'm
cool.
I'm sorry.
It's
I
okay.
literally spilled water like I spit water all over like electrical cords, and I
No, that really like
yo
I
I
was.
had tears. Listen, I literally had tears in my eyes right now. Do you understand? You know what it takes to get a comedian to laugh, let alone
I
get
know.
tears in their eyes. So for me to have, because
I
I
know.
can picture you, I know you. That's the problem is I know you, right?
I hated
And
him.
I could picture you
I hated it.
in this situation, and I was just dying because
I
I know how you react.
I was like I hated his guts, and I knew I was like I was already straight though. Like low key, I was already straight. It was like it was nothing he could do anyway. But it was like now I can't even be cool with you. Like now we can't even be like we can't even part as friends because I don't play demeaning other people. Like I don't play that at all.
I
So
know you don't. That's why him like you need to get a job. I could just see
he yelled at me, and
you.
the dude was asleep. I was like, you woke him up to kick like what? He was sleeping. He wasn't even asking you for money or anything. This man was minding his business, sleep on the street. Went out of your way to kick him.
I'm
I
so
hate you for
sorry.
this.
It's such a
I hate you for this.
despicable. He's a
But
despicable
okay,
person.
so now we're at this little bar that my friend owns, like my other friend owns. So I knew I was like at any given time I could just go into the office. I don't even like I could just disappear. You guys won't see me anymore. And I was out. I had did that thing that I would also never do again. I don't
What?
like people picking me up. I don't like people picking me up on dates because now I'm trapped.
Hmm.
I don't like that. I like to meet people because if I don't like what's happening, I am leaving. Okay. I don't care if steak tartare is coming. I don't care if we pick lobsters out of the tank. I don't care if Michael Bublé is singing on the stage. If I don't like you, I am leaving. Okay. Now I might lie and be like, I'll be right back and just don't. I don't care about ghosting. I think ghosting is the nicest thing you can do to somebody sometimes. Or I might be like, deuces, I'm out. But either way, I need to go. And so because I couldn't go, I hated him. I hated the girl. I hated the guy she was with. I hated all 3 of them. Like I was like, I want to fight everybody right now, cage match. I hate all of you. So I guess people gotta think I'm a woman of discriminating taste. I don't know. So he was like, I could see, I think she told him, like, you know, you might have to buy her something. I don't know why she said that because it was like, he could have bought me a house. I would have been like, I don't want it. So he was like, I don't want it. And he was like, you got nice shoes on. I could tell you like shoes. And I was like, from one pair, you could tell I like shoes. You've seen me one time. And he was like, I want to buy you some shoes. And I was like, I don't need you to buy any department store shoes I can own. I said, so unless you're talking about something like $900, $1,000. I don't need you to buy me no Steve Mattins. I can get my own. I can get my own guess. Okay, like I'm good. And he was like, "Oh well, don't try to break my pockets." And I was like, "Why would you bring it up? If you?" So that's when I left. That's when I was like, "I'm out." I was like, "I gotta catch a cab home because I cannot." And that was the worst day I ever had, and I probably was about 30. And so the fact that I'm that old having a date that bad, like, you know what I mean? So like with me, if I don't think you know how to act in public, I can't. I can't. And I like a thug. Don't get me wrong, but because I think you could be a thug and still know how to hold a knife and fork. And then
I
there are guys that you know they don't know how to talk to a waitress or they don't know how to tip, and it's just like this is bad for my brand. You know what I mean? Like
my
this is
personal
my
brand. And
brand.
no matter who you are,
This is
everyone
a
has a
bad look.
brand.
This is
It's
a
a
bad
bad.
look for me.
That's a real thing.
And I don't know about you, but if it isn't going well, I'll get quiet and I'll just stop talking. What do you do? What do you do? Like if you're, what do you do if you're stuck? Obviously, you know the answer. You humiliate them.
I
Oh,
don't humiliate. I'm really good at just being like, and I'm really good at just being like, I'm no, and just I'm telling you when I say my peace of mind means the most. I'm very
mhm.
good at just leaving by. Let's say I got stuck because somehow she picked me up, which would most likely never happen.
Mhm.
However, you know, another thing is I don't. I don't get in these situations simply because I'm very particular about people in general, and I have what I think are good instincts, and even if my instincts are wrong, at least I know I followed my own instincts and
Mm-hmm.
didn't listen to somebody else. But let's say, for example, if I was in this situation, she picked me up, it's bad. I just leave and get Uber in the middle of a conversation. That is not a problem for me at all. You want to talk
I
about?
don't have a problem
There,
with that either.
there was a young lady who flew down to LA for Valentine's Day to spend time with me, and we had like been getting to know each other. She came to LA. It was Valentine's Day. We were going to go to an event. And
Mm-hmm.
while we're going to this event, Laugh Factory hit me up and was like, "Hey, I was supposed to do the 10 o'clock show. We need you to do the 8 o'clock show."
Mm-hmm.
I literally, she's like, "What about the event?" I got her Uber and I drove to the show. Like, I didn't come to LA to date you. Like, that's not
Real.
why I'm here. So in situations, I just tend to leave. Now, before everyone just thinks I'm a horrible person, I'm an excellent
Actually,
dater when
that's
I want to
every
be.
comedian understands exactly what you just did. It's the
100.
non-comedians that don't get it. Yeah,
Yeah.
but the comic, that's what a comic is supposed to do. There's a well,
Hmm.
low key, you could have took her to the you. I
She
guess you
was
could have
she was
taken her.
worried about this event. She was worried about this event, and honestly, I understand. It was a very good event, that I
Do you
got.
think that the event was more important to her than because I mean, come and tell the event, or did she want to see you?
She
She should have went
we
with you.
also she got she okay. So to be fair, she did want to come with me, but I don't really like having people that are with at
Mm.
my shows. So I like because I'm in this mode. That's one of the mistakes that happens is when you go and meet me at
I'm
a
trying to
show.
have your back. I'm trying to have your back here, but you
I'm I
you
don't
making it
need it.
hard. You
I
making
don't
it
need
hard.
it. I'm trash. I'm trash.
Wow.
So you come to the show, I'm working. Like I don't go to Kinko's and just hover. So I'm here, I'm working. And I know it may not seem like work to the untrained eye,
Hmm.
but when we're in those circles, we're working
Absolutely.
no matter what, whether we're on or off stage. I'm at work.
So was she? Did she ever talk to you? Like, were you guys cool after that night was over? Or
Yeah, we got married. We got married and no, I'm kidding. No.
I mean,
She
I already know.
you know
Like,
so it's like
no, I mean,
even if
like,
we did,
how mad
nobody
was
would.
she? How did she feel about you? Like, was
I
she
will
mad?
give her credit. I'll give her credit. While she was upset, because
Mm-hmm.
clearly it was an upsetting story. She had like friends coming to the event and
Mm-hmm.
all that. She knew me enough to understand that that was
Mm-hmm.
100% how I would act. And though she was upset, she wasn't mad at me,
Okay.
and I gave her credit for that. That was
Did you
that
guys
was credit.
reconnect later on in the night?
We did.
Oh, okay. Okay, so
Yeah.
you just went and did your show and came back.
Yeah, and then I took
Oh,
her.
that's
I
not
took her
bad.
to her hotel. I picked them up and took her and her
Oh,
like
so
and took them
so
back.
when you picked her up, the night was over. You didn't take her anywhere else.
No,
Oh my god. I'm trying to have your back right here, Teron.
I was off.
You're
Listen,
supposed to take her somewhere else
I
and be
was
like,
off.
okay, now me and you can do
I,
something. You were
I'll
like,
be
okay, go to
real.
bed.
She kind of did the whole I'm coming to LA on her own. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? Like when I said we were you okay, do you know and I know this happens especially with a lot of girls. You know how when you're talking to someone and it's a DM and it's a text, it's cool, but then they're like, when are we trying to meet up? That's when you ghost like meet up. Like I didn't really want to meet up. I just like this. Like I just like the verbal jousting. I don't really want to meet up in real life. So
okay.
So that's the thing. And you know what? You did bring up something. You said like anybody, if you don't know me, you would think that maybe I'm thinking of dates because of being cheap. It's not that at all.
Oh no. I understand for
You
you
know me.
because I know you, but I'm just saying if I met a guy at the club or something, and that's like an immediate red flag for women when the dude's like the first date is at my house. Like
Mm.
that means you don't like me enough to take me out and you just trying to smash and you're not trying to invest in me. That's a clear red flag. Now I don't think that's the case for you because you told me you were so
I told you. I
you
told
told
you
me you
what?
were so told me you were a sociopath. Bringing up old stuff. So it's
Yeah.
like, um,
Is
you
that
did.
did I say
So
that?
I don't like for you personally, you're skinning bunnies at home and eating fava beans and lips. So that's you. But I'm saying, like, if it was anybody but you, and here's you in 2016, Tehran, it took me a long time to know. It took me time to just accept. In the beginning, I would have been so.
Did this freeze? Hold on. Did it freeze on your side? Can you hear me now?
I could hear you before. My internet went out. I don't know why.
Oh, yeah, it just like froze. Is it on now? This is the show they don't want to happen, Heather. Yo, you frozen?
What is her? Oh,
Yo,
it's the weather.
you what?
It's the weather. I
Oh,
keep
it's the
getting
weather.
kicked out of the internet. Yeah, I think the wind is blowing. We got a wind chill thing happening here. So it's like blowing, it's like, I think it's kicking the internet in and
I
out.
can hear you perfectly now, but before it kept going in and out. I wonder if it recorded
I
the
was
episode.
completely kicked off. I was gone.
Yeah, I hope it, because when you were speaking, a lot of times it would go off and on. I hope that's not how it recorded when you were playing.
No, it didn't. I can hear how it's recording. It's a whole studio. Those are your janky headphones. I keep trying to tell you.
No. It was the internet. It would be freezing, like as you were going to be like.
No, it wasn't. I'm trying to tell you, it wasn't.
I
It
hope
was
so.
clear over here. But look, I'm in sepia. Look how orange I am.
Yeah.
I could hear you the whole time.
Yeah, but I couldn't hear you. Like it would be your audio that I could not hear. I could hear me when I'm speaking too. Like I could tell that it was going through.
I hear you crystal clear.
Yeah,
I see you
hear you
clear.
now.
And I hear you.
I
I look
hear
like
you
I'm in a
now.
horror film.
Yeah,
I
you
look
do.
like Blair Witch.
Yeah, you do.
Shut up.
Is there a reason for that?
Because the laptop, I was on the tablet, and the tablet is HD, 1080 or whatever, 4K, whatever. This is crap. Okay, the camera is crap. I was just using the laptop for the studio stuff so I can make sure everything was right. But low key, yeah, I just legit got kicked off the internet. Like, oh my God, this whole episode's just been kind of wild. But I'm gonna keep a good attitude because I'm grateful. Right? We're grateful.
We're always grateful.
You don't have to be grateful. This isn't your thing. I'm just trying to stay busy so I won't fall into seasonal depression. That's all. I'm just trying to stay busy.
I mean, I enjoy my life. I don't know.
I enjoyed my life when I was in LA too.
Yeah.
I liked my apartment. I liked my Twinkies. I liked living down the street from Pavilion and Target. I loved it.
Why'd you leave?
My mom got really sick,
Oh yeah.
and I gotta help her get back on her feet. She still can't walk. I have a whole new respect for your knee surgery because like she over here going through it.
What was wrong with her leg?
She got a total knee replacement, and then she almost died. And then
Total
she
knee
survived.
replacement. By the way, total knee replacement still not as bad as the ACL for some reason. I don't understand that. And still, how bad is it? I don't understand why. How is the total knee replacement not as bad as an ACL surgery? Like to me,
I think the muscles are worse than the bones.
that's what the doctor said.
Yeah.
Because the doctor's like, it's actually faster recovery, and I'm like, what? Because she got a titanium knee now.
I guess she ain't using it, so who knows? But she ain't using it. So yeah, because of the almost dying thing, her recovery is completely thrown off. So I can't leave until she can at least walk to the bathroom and to the kitchen, or else she's gonna kill my dad because he's gonna be trying to lift her and carry her, and he's 78. So it's getting cold here, so they need to hurry up because I wasn't trying to. I moved to get away from these winters.
Yeah.
I don't know. Whatever. All right. So I really appreciate you. I kind of want to just call this because I know you have something else to do.
At 4, I'm good now. I'm good until 3:45. Yo, your story.
Just admit you like spending time with me. Like you just say it. I like spending time with you.
I've never not liked spending time.
Oh, are we live?
Yo, I've never not.
No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that.
I've never not liked spending time with you, Heather. Jay.
Okay, I'm not doing that with you either.
I do like spending time with you.
When I told Monica Boyd I was having you on the show, she laughed so hard and was like, "That's going to be so funny," and I was like, "He's going to be so funny." But when I told like my closest friends, they were like, "Are you guys going to argue?" And I was like, "No, we're not going to argue because we're not going to talk about old stuff."
Why
we are in COVID.
What to argue about? Like why? I've never argued with you in my life. You've argued with me.
Because the reason why, exactly, because you just said that you didn't see me that night, and so I was trying to let it go, and you just.
I didn't see you. Like I promise you, I did not see you.
That's why.
I promise you, or I didn't recognize it was you. It's that simple. It's not on purpose.
All this getting edited out, so it don't matter. Anyway, what were we talking about? We were talking about
the time we were doing anal, and you were like,
"We have not, ladies and gentlemen, Dad, we've never done anal." Okay.
Yeah, I don't care. This is live. It's going.
We've never done anal.
What? Even if 3 people listen to the show,
that's about what it is.
If 3 people listen to this live, because this is the stuff that people like pull off, and then Heather J blow up and become the big time.
And then somebody come in talking about Maria Time Tehran did anal.
Yeah, this is all.
After he clearly said he don't care about how nobody feels, so it's like you let that guy do anal. You let that's the guy you let do anal. Anal's relationship sex. I don't care what nobody say. Anal's marriage sex.
I just cleaned up, Heather. Please.
I'm just saying, like, if my grandmother was alive, she would be like, "That's not the guy you let do anal, hey, baby. A man gotta love you to do anal now. You can't be letting some dude don't want to take you out to eat do anal. That's just not smart. That's just not smart. Flat out.
Yo, so because you don't know how to date now, are we talking about this topic or not? What are we talking about
now? I think a lot of people don't know how to date. I don't think it's just me. Personally, I think. Wait a minute. Oh shoot! Oh crap! Oh crap! All this is getting edited out. Okay, I got my internet back. Why am I sideways? Why am I sideways?
Did you just leave? Did you just leave me alone to be live? So, y'all, for all of you who don't know, Heather J was definitely like, please. Okay.
I didn't talk about you when you left. Don't talk about me. Okay, there we go. Why did we freeze? Okay.
And that's why she was begging for it too. She was like, "Oh, please." I was like, "Heather, we haven't even kissed." She's like, "No, just put it right in there."
Oh, shut up. Are you talking nasty while I'm gone?
I'm just telling the story as it happened.
What? Are you? Oh my God! Are you talking? I hate you. Are you still trying to convince people
You
that we
will
had some
never know.
inappropriate entanglements?
You will never know. You will never. You got off. I don't know why you ruined.
Um. Okay. Afion roasted my mother's artwork in the background, so I'm trying not to show it anymore.
Why? Let me see the artwork. I like the artwork.
Let me see if you can see it. See her
Yeah,
little.
I saw that. That was
This is
very.
her little. This is her little arts and crafts. Before she got sick, she was all on her arts and crafts kick. Okay, there we go. So she was doing. She had. It's like a whole bunch of half finished projects.
Mm.
Windows, half covered up and all this or whatever. And I'm not picking up any of these projects. You understand what I'm saying? That's not what I do. I have a master's degree. Okay. No, I think a lot of people don't know how to date.
Most people don't know how to date.
And
Dating.
honestly, I think that's accurate enough I think that's a lot of people's problem. I just think they're in denial about it. Because I think men think if they're spending their money, they can do anything they want. And I think women think if they're fine and their booty is popping in that dress, they can behave because women clown too. That's why I said when we talk about how people behave in public, I'm sure you've been out with a girl who was like, who raised you? You know what I mean? Like, why are you in public acting like this? Why are you talking to this waitress like this? You know what I mean? Like, we not at your house. She ain't got
I'm.
nothing for you.
I'm actually a pretty decently mannered, cultured person. So while I do tend to have some of my urban hood tendencies, they manifest themselves properly. I would say this: when it comes to a good date is an experience where both people have an experience with one another. You actually interact and you get to know each other, not just through conversation, but through this experience you're having. So a walk in the park, at least you're walking and talking, and it's an
Mm-hmm.
experience, which is why a walk in the park is better than going to a movie theater where you're not actually interacting with one another, right? So that's the thing. Just because I don't date doesn't mean I don't know how to date. I understand.
I think it depends on your end game. If your end game is to meet somebody and make a real connection and see what you can grow, then you're right. You need to have as much communication as possible. But unfortunately, a lot of people their end game is to be seen out with this person or be seen in general. Their end game is to eat
Or hit.
or
You're just trying
smash
to hit.
or just floss in any kind of way. And I think that those are the people that kind of clog the drain for other people, and they frustrate the guys that are like, I really wanted to get to know her, and all she wanted to do was eat a steak. You know what I mean? Like, I could have just bought you a steak and saved my time. And I think it's a lot of girls like, I really want to get to know him, but he wanted to show me he could get me courtside tickets to the game, and so now we're here and we haven't spoken at all. We're just courtside or whatever, or we're in this limo or whatever. And I think a lot of that is just, I don't know if it's insecurity or what, but I don't know. I kind of, we don't blame people on this show because this is about self accountability or whatever. But I'm sorry. I think most of the woes of dating are men's fault because
Hold on, we don't blame anyone on the show,
we
but
don't
we just
blame. But I'm gonna tell you why. I'm
you're
gonna tell
not
you.
wrong. You're not wrong. By the way, I think most
Okay,
of the problems in
I'm
the
gonna tell
world
you
are
why.
men's
Let me,
fault.
because
So
I might turn some people off or whatever with that one.
mm.
But back when the dope man became an important part of the black community in terms of how he treats women and things he does, this Negro spoiled every woman he met. You know what I mean? He was. I went to Mrs. Fields to get a cookie. This dude came up and stood next to me and was like, "Let me take you shopping." Like, dog, I was okay with the cookie. You know what I mean? But because we had these guys kind of inundating the dating game, a lot of women are terribly spoiled. Terribly spoiled. And it's like that's what they expect. They expect, so now you have women that are like, Applebee's. And it's like, what's wrong? You take yourself to Applebee's all the time. You and your girls go to Applebee's, but as soon as a guy get involved, now that's not good enough. You take yourself to the diner, to Denny's, but he got to spend $300 just for you to even hear his personality, hear him out. And I think that's just really wrong. And those women, I feel like they bring it on themselves because there's a nice guy who is his off pay week and he don't have 200 to drop on a dinner for a girl he just met, but he got 40. You know what I mean? So just go to Applebee's and see if you guys can have a love connection. And there's some women that are adamantly against it. I ain't doing, and it's like to me, anytime somebody is adamant about anything in dating, they're playing themselves. Because the best things happen when you're just relaxed. And it's like you're so that was the first episode, the rules, the people that got the rules. And it's like, he got to do this and she got to do that. And, and it's like, you playing yourself. But it's easy for me to talk because I don't really care what nobody do. So, you know what I mean? So, like, it's easy for me to sit back and be like, I don't care. I've had fun times with guys at lower end restaurants.
Sure.
I've had fun times in jeans. I've had fun times, like you said, with no makeup on, and we're just enjoying. But I think we're also spoiled as comedians because we spend a lot of time with the opposite sex. We engage a lot, and then that becomes like the standard. So it's like I could go to the improv, stand at the bar, kick it with 4 or 5 people, laugh all night, drink, eat, everything, or I could sit up in this restaurant and maybe have a good time with you, or maybe be bored out of my mind. That's the standard. And it's not fair to that guy that works at General Motors for me to be comparing him to spending an evening with all my funny, live, extroverted, life of the party friends. It's not fair, but it is what it is. So I can't unexperience life because this is, at the end of the day, I can go have fun by myself. So the odds of you wowing me are slim. So I need you to not even try. Okay, just let me enjoy you. Let me see if I can enjoy your company. And honestly, a lot of men just do not understand that. It's just like, you're making this hard. I'm telling you what you have to do. And so on the one hand, I'm like, the girls that are like, you got to do this, you got to do this, but then they get it, and I'm over here like, I don't care, and nobody ever's gonna invite. It's just like, so that means I get kicked around. Like, no, I'm not saying that. I'm saying I'm reasonable. And I don't think men always appreciate reasonable. I think you kind of got to be like that book, Why Men Love Bitches. Like, sometimes you kind of got to be a bitch to get. I mean, do you think that's true?
I think you're gonna die alone. Yeah, I think it's true. You're gonna die alone.
The name of the show is With Heather J. I already knew
Yeah,
that.
you're gonna die
With
alone.
Heather J. I
I
said
don't
that.
I don't disagree with most of
You're
the
such a
things you
jackass.
said. I don't disagree with most of the stuff you said, simply because A, I know you're speaking from the heart, but B, I've seen everything you've said. I've seen it and more. And so I respect your perspective. I do want to say that here's the thing: when it comes to going out to somewhere, now I don't even have an Applebee's within 30 miles of where I am, right? I don't know where an Applebee's is. I wish I knew where there
Damn.
was an
You want to
Applebee's.
know, ho?
Yeah, I don't go to North Hollywood. So
It's one in
yeah,
Inglewood. That's like 7 miles away from you. Shut up.
yeah, and I will not go there either. So it's not like I'm not going. It's not like I'm racist. I'm places. Like I live here. I live in West Hollywood. So if
You don't
you are
like leaving
listening
West
to me,
Hollywood. We
if
already
you're
know.
not geographically compatible to me, you're gone. And on top of that, I'll tell you something about dating. You're not gonna date up with me. Like if you live in Compton, we eat in Compton. All of a sudden, you can't just be like, let's eat
No,
in
that's
Boa.
messed up. That's messed up. She trying to see the world, man. She trying to
Yeah,
see the world.
not today. Not on the first, second, third date. Like we're not going to Tulum.
I think it
We're like,
depends on how she met you. Because you have fancy cars. So if you pull up to her in your drop top Camaro, she ain't wrong to want to go for a ride somewhere nice in your car. Because you could have just got off the bus and met her, and then you wouldn't have these issues.
you know,
Walking around with your Louis Vuitton backpacks and stuff, they're looking at you like, he got it.
and I do, and I do.
He got
But
17 Louis Vuitton bags.
uh,
He got it.
you are correct, and yet it's not for you. You know what I'm saying? And I'll tell you something, and I say this to my guy friends all the time, and I think this is what's wrong. Guys treat girls the best when they first meet them.
Mm-hmm.
That's when they're active, they're trying to listen to what you have to say,
Right.
they're texting back, they're responsive, they're always about where you are and your safety. They'll be like, oh, you're going to the grocery store, get home safe. Like it's a grocery store, right? All right. And then on that first date, they're taking you to catch or, to
Yeah.
the moon or, let's go to Mars, whatever
Yeah.
you're trying to do. Let's SpaceX. And then when you with that girl for a year or 3 years or 5 years, that's when you're treating her the worst. That's when you're taking her to Applebee's and you're
Yeah.
doing all that stuff. I'm the opposite. You got to earn me. In the beginning, we eat in McDonald's.
He
But
the
if you
prize.
but if you show me like if I'm with a girl for a year or 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, I'm treating the girl as 5 years amazing.
Mm-hmm.
She's passed the test. She deserves my loyalty. She deserves my kindness. Like, I'm not like, that's one thing that always annoys me is if there's a guy, and especially in comedy, all these guys who just love talking about all the girls they meet. They got a girlfriend, but they like, yeah, and I met this other girl and I hit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, first of all, nothing's cool about that. First, you're just having all these one night stands. That means you're having a lot of bad sex. You can't have good sex.
Tehran trying to make y'all think he's a good guy right now.
No. I'm not. I've told you straight up, I'm trash. I'm saying no. I'm telling you the truth. I'm speaking my truth.
I don't cheat. I'm loyal.
Speaking my truth. I've never cheated. I've never cheated. I just don't even find use. Cheating to me is a threat. That just means now I have to hang out with someone else somewhere else. No, I'm good. You know me. Like, yo,
barely got your time.
Exactly. You know that. So don't try to make it sound like when it's like,
anyway, whatever. I cheat.
For you. Good for you. I want to cheat. I just don't even feel like it's effort. Like, I'm like, we good.
I mean, it's work vetting anybody new for any reason.
Exactly. So when comedians tell me like, oh, I met these girls or this and that, I'm off that. Or they're like, I'm such a pimp. No, a pimp is honest. A pimp tells his hoes they're hoes. You're a liar. Like, I don't need that. So that's number 2. Number 3 is then they meet the new girl and they spending money on a new girl and they get her a bag or get her shoes when their old girl, the one who's held them down, don't get anything. They not getting nothing. Tory Hart in the background, you know what I'm saying? Like, just not getting.
Don't drop names. Don't drop names. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Like, I feel like, yo,
that's a character flaw, though.
If I'm with a girl, and it's like I'm spending I'm taking old girl to all the top notch stuff. New girl not getting top notch. Because if you get her for the first date, you go to the Mars. What you gonna get her for your 1-year anniversary? What you gonna get her for her birthday? You know what I'm saying? You're gonna let her burn up in the sun?
That's more traditional. Are your parents still married?
Yeah, my parents are married.
I think that's why you're coming from that perspective. Because like me and you, we've seen loyalty, and we know what loyalty looks like long term. Everybody doesn't, and that's another problem. And I hear guys complaining about that all the time. Like, girls, they don't know. They didn't see their father taking their mother. They didn't see their father coming in saying, "We've been married 15 years. I got you a new diamond ring." They didn't see that. So all they have to go on is what they're seeing on television and imagery, or what they think is supposed to be, not really what a building and growing looks like. And it really does start off small, and it's bricks. And then you look up one day and you build something. But I mean, that's emotional maturity. That's maturity. And everybody don't have it. But I do have to call you to task on what you just said there, bro. Because you just told a story earlier about taking a girl to Puerto Rico. Had she known where it was, you were taking Puerto Rico.
I wasn't going to take her to Puerto Rico. She asked me. I think maybe you. No, I think you misunderstood. When she said, "Hey, I should go to Puerto Rico," that's how it came up, because I was like, nah. She wasn't expecting me to say no, and she was like, "Well, I don't have my passport anyway." Was her retort to me saying,
so you saying no?
Yeah, she was actually
about to be like,
no. Something came off in the tone she said that, which made me think that other guys were quick to be like, "Oh, you trying to come with me?"
Yeah,
and she wasn't used.
She used to get flew out.
Exactly, and she wasn't used to someone being like, "No." Like, why would I?
Would you fly somebody out for a date? Because I mean, that's very common in the world we live in.
Yes. If I'm with someone for 5 years.
No. In the beginning, like if you met somebody, because you travel a lot. I didn't tell everybody, but you're internationally traveled. You could be anywhere in the country on any given day. If you met somebody, you guys were okay. Me and you met. I didn't live in LA. We were friends for a while before I moved to LA. I never asked you to fly me. I never would have. But I'm just saying, if it was like, if I was that chick, if that was like, so would you have done that? And keep in mind, it's in the past. There's no wrong answer. Okay, there's no wrong answer. And my aunt works for American. I don't need anybody to fly me anywhere. I'm just saying.
About that anal, me and Heather done had about that anal.
I'm gonna fight you when I'm coming back to Los Angeles, Toronto. I'm gonna see you again.
It's not gonna be. It's gonna be a while. It's gonna be a while.
You can't act like I can't pop you eventually.
COVID. Would I fly a girl? I don't think that there's not a reasonable. I've never met someone that I would ever fly out on a date. I'm not going to exclude that possibility because I don't want to jinx myself. But at this point, I've never met someone that I would fly out off of first, second,
Because
third.
you just don't think it's important.
It's not. Because once again, dating is not a priority that I have. But like I said, I'm upfront and honest about that
Yeah.
with women. I tell them upfront, dating is not a priority, and you should prioritize. Like if you're gonna make me a priority, this is not a good idea. So to me, I probably would not do that. But if we're together for a year or 2 years, then yeah, I
I
could.
mean, that's different.
Well,
That's a relationship. That's
actually,
different.
2 3 years. I'm gonna be honest. There's 2 3 years that would look at me like, so probably
You
not.
know what?
But
Now he lying.
maybe,
Now he
maybe.
lying. You're not even like that. You gonna do whatever she asks you to do.
I'm still gonna be me. That's my thing. I don't even like it. I don't like labels or obligate. I don't even like it when my parents call me their son. Like,
Shut up.
you need to be like,
That's unnecessary. Why are
this
you
is
disrespecting
Tehran.
the people like
It's
that?
not. It's not. They
Whatever.
know.
Why don't
Listen,
even necessarily? You know, I'm a mom. Don't be dissing moms out
it's
here.
not. I
Don't do
do want
that.
to say that my siblings, my siblings, so it's like five of us. My other siblings have perfectly healthy, amazing relationships
So they
with
just
their
dropped you at
significant
birth.
others.
Okay, but
I
you're a
was
sociopath. So
I was just, I don't know how they, because you brought up my parents being together, and I'm looking at my sisters and how they're treated by their significant others, one husband and one husband in to be, and I'm like,
fiance,
they really, I don't even like that term. I
fiance.
don't even-
I mean, it's a word for it though. I'm just saying it's a word in the
so,
lexicon. You ain't gotta
so,
reinvent the wheel.
so even with so all my siblings, literally, my sisters are literally with the people that they dated, the first person they dated in college.
Wow.
My brothers are with the, well, one's with the person he dated post high school, but
Hmm.
like shortly after, and one's with the person that he dated in high school.
I
Like
mean, out of
literally,
5 kids, for your parents to only have one sociopath, that's not bad.
they've done. I mean, I think they did great. I think they've done
I
an
think they did
amazing
good
job.
too.
They- and they're all in these long-term, healthy, loving relationships.
Yeah.
Not even like where people can be in a relationship where they dislike each other.
They like each other. Yeah,
Like
that's important.
my
That's
mom
important.
still laughs, like fake laughs at my dad's stupid jokes just to make him
Right.
feel good. Still, it's like and like looks at me like,
So what do they do when you come home for like when you come home? Are they looking at you like what's wrong with your life, or they
uh,
like well he
I
living his
mean,
best life right now?
no. You know what? Thankfully, my family accepted me very early. Like
Oh, okay.
I impressed myself as an individual on
Okay.
them, where they have maneuvered, and maybe they've even done so much because they've enabled me to continue to grow in the way that I did. Because they tried to make me normal. My parents got me a puppy when I was a kid. Like oh,
They
love
tried
this
to make you
puppy.
normal.
And I hated that. I made them give that puppy back one day later. Like other kids, it was one of those greyhound. Like nah, what? It's like a hound with those big ears, and just everyone thought it's the cutest dog ever. And I'm like, yo, I am not cleaning up poop and what?
As a child, you were like, I'm not cleaning up poop.
I don't need none of this.
That's
I
funny.
didn't want the dog. Like I literally kept insisting that I do not want this puppy.
So what
Like
happened to the dog?
they gave the puppy back. They
Okay, as
gave
long
the
as you
puppy.
didn't kill the dog,
No.
you're
I'm
not a
not a
sociopath.
psychopath.
No, okay. You're
Yeah.
not a sociopath. I'm only saying that because that's what you tell me
I don't even.
when you're trying to be
I
on your
don't
best.
know.
Oh, Heather, I'm a sociopath. You're not a sociopath, and I'm gonna tell you how I know you're not a sociopath. You wanted me to know your side of a situation that happened a year ago, and Melanie is in the chat, so Melanie knows that you looked us dead in our face and kept walking. But whatever,
I didn't listen. I'm
whatever.
telling
We
you,
don't have to
I
talk about it.
did not do
But
so.
what I'm saying,
I
the
promise
fact
you.
that you don't want me to feel bad about that is how I know you're not a sociopath.
No,
Because
I
a
didn't.
sociopath wouldn't care how I felt, and you
I
don't like it when people feel bad. You're like, I'm sorry, and all this. No, you can't.
whoa. I
No,
did not
no.
apologize. I simply explained my
You
side of the
apologize to me.
situation. I explained my side of the situation.
You've apologized to me.
You remember the time we did anal? Remember the anal? Okay, so I never apologized specifically. I said if you felt that way, let me express. But I'm explaining my side of the scenario where I promise you, I did not know that that was you. I promise you.
Um,
Whatever frame of mind I was in, for whatever reason, it was not.
um, babe, if my son is watching Christian, this man never, that never happened, baby, ever. Okay. So before you make my son a sociopath, a psychopath, he doesn't watch anything I do. Okay. But anybody else could. Some guy that was checking for me. I might have a little admirer on here.
I'm sure you have a lot of
Now you
admirers.
giving somebody a false hope.
I'm sure you have a lot of admirers.
I'm too old for that. I don't do new stuff.
You don't.
If it wasn't popping in the 90s, I don't do it. Okay. So no.
You gonna die
that's
alone.
That's nouveau stuff. No.
Yeah.
I'm old school.
Yeah. Listen,
Anyway.
listen. Your family's been married for a long time. I know my parents have been married for a long time. I expressed this to my siblings. Yo, they've done. Listen.
So you just a lost cause?
Yo, my parents they're conservative. My parents are like conservative. They're very quiet, very like respectable people. I'm clearly the outlier in this situation. They don't even have social media. Like my siblings don't really have social media. They don't like it. They actually don't like being in pictures because they don't like when people who follow me try to follow them.
They don't want to be part of the world. Yeah.
They don't. They're very quiet. And it's not because they support, they just don't want to be a part of it. Like they would never want to be on TV. They would have no aspiration of that whatsoever.
My mom's like that. She's loud. She's Puerto Rican. She's loud, but she's not quiet at all. Like I don't know if you can hear her. She's been talking the whole time, but no, she's not quiet at all. Like
does she know about the time that we did anal?
You know about that? Hear you. She's never gonna. Let me tell you something about my mother. She would die if she heard you say that. Like she wouldn't think it was cute. I could be like, Mom, I was homeless on the street in Los Angeles. Tehran came and fed me, and she was like, I don't care. That's that nigga. That's shit. You know what I mean? she would never forgive that. So it's like it's for the best.
Okay.
If we
Can I ever meet your parents? Can I meet your parents?
Can I meet yours?
Okay, touche.
Okay, so listen, we ain't doing that. For what? What you want to talk about my parents for?
I just think your parents would be adorable human beings.
That's one word, I guess. My parents are funny to other people. They drive me and my sister crazy.
I can imagine.
You know how that is. It's like I'll tell somebody something my mom said, and they're like, "Oh my God, your mom's so funny," and I'm just like, "She ain't funny." I don't write jokes about my parents because they're irritating. But it's a lot going on in this family dynamic. It's a lot of strengths and the fiery habanera, so my mom ain't no joke. They named a hurricane after Katrina. You know what I mean? So and when that happened, when I tell you every single member of my family alive was like, "Yep, that's about right." How much destruction? Oh yeah, that's Kit. You know what I mean?
Well, that must be Katrina Jr. That's not even
because we live with Hurricane Katrina or whatever. So growing up in that, like my mom would come get me from school, and she would wear like these fur coats, and she would like just me being in third grade and her just coming through the school and me being in my class and knowing she was in the building, like my mom's here.
You could just feel it in the forest. There was a disturbance in the forest.
Right. It was like she's here, and I would just hear her keys, and I would just be like, "Oh my God, she's here!" And she would just come in like the Tasmanian devil, and it was just hair and butt and mink, and it was just like, why? Like, why? And my dad was a bus driver who never took his uniform off. So then he would come, and he'd be like, "You want to go to the mall?" And it's like, "But can you take off the uniform?" And he'd walk through the mall, and everybody in the mall would know him because he drove the bus that went to the mall. So people would just come up like, "Hey, bus driver," and it was always like this. I can't stand you people.
And you don't talk about this on stage at all.
Yeah.
Can I tell you something?
They're not funny.
This is why
they're traumatizing. They're not funny.
You do so well in an international audience, and you also understand those international jokes, is because it's very similar. It's a very
crazy
similar
people, yeah. Oh yeah. Here's the thing: everybody ethnic is like this. White people are just boring, so it kind of seems like everybody. Everybody's extra. White people are just boring. You know what I mean? So
they're
actually
vanilla.
normal. You know what I mean? So because I talk to like Arab people, or because I used to work with a lot of Chaldean women. My mom being Puerto Rican, they act exactly the same. It was just like, yeah, they were wild and pick up the phone, who you talking to, or call your boyfriend. I'm trying to figure out what you're doing with my daughter. Like, oh my God, like, oh, and she still had a baby. And you didn't even stop anything. You know what
That's
I
the
mean?
real. You talked about that. My friend Assad told me a story about he was in high school and a girl called the house for him,
Mhm.
and his father picked up the phone and was like, "Who's this?" And she was like, "Oh, this is Jennifer from Assad's class." He's like, "Oh, Jennifer? Yeah, Jennifer. Assad knows his family, his religion, and his school. You know what's not on that list? Jennifer."
I know. That's how my mama was. That's how
Yeah,
she was. She'd be like,
yeah,
"Don't call here no more."
yeah.
Or pull in the driveway and some little boy stepped up on the porch. What are you doing? Get off the porch. Don't come in. This is like, oh, he sells the paper. You know, he's a paper boy. You know what I mean? Like, why are you doing this?
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think they're funny. Other people like you would love my mom as long as you don't talk about anal. Like you got to keep it PG.
I
She's a
would. I'm
Christian
a
woman.
PG. I'm actually a
She's a Christian
very
woman.
PG
But
person. Yeah.
everybody, when I tell you that when my mom got sick, our friends were calling, our old boyfriends were calling. I don't talk to my son's father at all. And he was like, put your mom on the phone. I'm just like, that's not your mom. That's my mom. You know what I mean? Everybody, because everybody loves my mom. She was
Yeah.
always like the cool mom. She just was crazy to us because she's our mom. You know what I mean? But she was entertaining. You come over for a couple hours, yeah, kiss the best. She gonna feed you and all that or whatever, but then y'all get to leave and we had to stay. So like, can we go with you? No. Okay. So whatever. I'm a little triggered because I haven't been in the house with her in a very long time and I forgot. I forgot. I
Now
just
you're being reminded. Now you're
and
being
I'm just
reminded.
like, this is why I moved to the other side of the country.
Do you date now that you've gone back home?
Dating in Detroit is a breeze. Dating in California was very, very trying. Because everybody was gay or I was too brown skinned. You know, brown girls don't get no love in LA. So,
I
I
think you
mean,
just know the wrong circles. You know what it is? Maybe
what you want
because
me to
I'm from
do?
DC. I feel like DC's very. They call it Chocolate City. We're very Afrocentric. We love our brown skinned, dark skinned women. Like we
I mean,
love.
I'm not saying nobody, whatever.
Yeah.
BT
I
Kingsley loves telling me I'm chocolate. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, okay, this is gonna sound really arrogant, but I'm just used to not having to work at all. You know
Sure,
what I
but
mean?
let's be very fair. In Detroit, you're a 9. In LA, like, I don't want to. Like, I've been to Detroit. Like,
I'm too.
I don't want to
I'm
be like.
too.
I
First of
don't,
all, I'm too old. Like, and
yeah.
I'm just, nobody's trying to, they're looking for young girls or whatever. And then, it's all about the exotic or whatever. And I'm not exotic. And it's like, I thought I was, but apparently I'm not.
In
So
Detroit, in
in
Detroit,
Detroit, like everybly fine in Detroit. I'm not even gonna
yeah,
lie.
a
Everybody
Chevy
fine in Detroit.
Equinox is a bad
So
car. It's like, yo, you got an Equinox? Oh, you're in Detroit.
I definitely do better Midwest, East Coast. I go to New York. I get crazy love because they can see the Latin in me, and I just go right in. They think I'm Dominican. I just go right in. DC, I get love. Atlanta, does any straight woman get love in Atlanta or whatever? Like,
Yo,
I mean, it's kind
who
of
hurt you? What
you know
gay
what I mean.
man
Like, is
hurt you?
any straight woman? But
What gay man
LA
hurt
was
you?
just
'Cause you brought that up
so.
so much.
It's just an unfair question. I'm pretty sure if you go to DC and you stay home for 2 weeks, you're gonna get a better experience. You know what I'm saying? Not saying there are no gold diggers, but it's not the per capita. You know what I mean? Whereas it's like that for me here. It's like here, I could call any number of exes because all my exes, they still love me. You know what I mean? I could go to the liquor store.
All your exes still love you?
All of them. All of them. I mean, I'm sorry. There's nothing wrong with me. You know what I mean? So like, I'm just saying, nobody has a Heather did me wrong story.
Oh, probably
You know what
some.
I mean? And even if I have like walked away from a dude or ghosted or something, now I will ghost. I'm the queen of the ghosted. I honestly see nothing wrong with it. But even if I've done that, they might be mad for a minute, but then they see me again, they'll just be like, "Why you do me like that?" And they'll be cool again.
You ghosted me off our friendship. You have ghosted me off our
I
friendship.
didn't. I've never ghosted you. I've never ghosted. That's
No,
I'm
you
not.
have.
Hold on. That's
No, you
another lie.
have. Okay, okay, all
That's
right.
another lie. He up here lying.
Yeah.
My phone
Remember the
number
time
has
we
never.
did
My phone
anal?
number has been the
Remember
same
the
the whole
time?
time I've known you. I've
Remember the
never
time
ghosted
we've
you.
done anal? Remember the time we did anal? Remember
I
that?
never ghosted you. I don't appreciate that. To me, a ghost is okay. So like one time I was on the phone with this guy, and I had Verizon, and I went like I was we were on the phone, and I was on my computer like actively changing my number while we were on the phone. And then we got off the phone. It was like, you're never calling me again because that's ghosting. Okay. Just with you, it's like you're the kind of person that doesn't take any initiative. And it took me a while to accept that. All I did was stop calling you. That's not me ghosting you. Because if I stop calling, we'll never talk again, Tarani. You know, like if I
I'm the
don't,
worst. I'm the worst friend. It's
if I
not
don't
just
reach
me.
out to you, we don't
It's
talk.
not personal though. It's not personal. You
That
sound like
doesn't
my
make anybody
sister.
feel any
You
better.
sound like my brother. You sound like my mom right now. My mom literally is like, if we don't call you,
That's what I'm saying.
we will not know that you're dead for a
The
month.
fact that your mom says it makes me feel a lot better because I know a boy is never going to treat a woman better than he does his mother.
Yo,
So if your mom has to put out APBs and Amber Alerts for you, then
yo, in
I
my
honestly, 4 years later, 4 years after I met you, I honestly do believe you treat me as best as you possibly can treat a person. Like I really do feel like I get the best of you. It's just that the
I
best
respond.
is
Like
so
I actually
scant.
respond. If you ever need help, I'm there. You
That's
know this.
true. You've held me down a few times. I appreciate you for
If
that.
you ever actually need help, I'm there. If I'm the person, like I'm the person you call when there's something real going on. You know what I'm saying? Zombie invasion, call Tehran. You need the plug, call Tehran. Like I'm when some don't call me about the weather. I'm
And
not the
don't
call.
call him. Don't do not, ladies. If you like in Tehran right now, you want to slide the DMs. Do not ask him how are you. Don't.
Yeah.
He will give you the Puerto Rico Jeopardy answer. If you ask him, hey, what's up? He'll be like, what's up? What kind of question is that? I don't have time to tell
That's
you
an
what I'm doing. You're like,
improper preposition. Like I think and I don't want to. Listen, it's been
one
proposed.
time I thought something had happened to him and I was a little concerned. And I was like, are you okay? And he was like, what do you think happened, Heather? You think I fell out the bed and hit my head? And I was like, I just thought something might be
Yo,
wrong.
I really do, right? So it's
But
not
I just
personal.
honestly,
I
but I
swear it's
laughed.
not
Like you didn't
personal.
make me mad. I literally laid there and laughed when I read
It's
the
not
message. I was
personal.
like, you can't even be concerned about this nigga. Like
Because
this
look,
Negro won't let you have nothing.
you
Okay, he
sound
won't let
like
this much.
my family right now. You sound just like my
He's
family.
Fraser Crane. Like he's Fraser Crane.
All
He's
right.
really smart and really accomplished and really difficult. And like he's Fraser freaking Crane.
That's
But
so,
like the smartest guy you ever want to meet on
so
paper, Tehran is the Bachelor. ABC's the Bachelor. Okay, like he. But like for real, but I don't. He is who he is. I accept all my friends. That's one thing about me. I was raised by a narcissist. I can accept anybody for who they are. I'm very accepting of people. You don't have to change for me ever. Because
you
if
say this often, and I appreciate
you
that. That's
don't have
why
to change,
we're still friends.
if I don't, if I've had my fill of Tyrannism, I will simply stop calling. Like,
It's very
I'll be
simple.
like, I'll call Tehran next month. I can't
And we'll
tell
be
you.
good. When you call me next, I'm not upset. Like I nothing was wrong. Because people
And
will
no
be
matter
like,
what time, day or night, I text him, he will text me right back. Okay.
"Yeah, I
So,
do not
like,
sleep. I
I can
don't
text Tehran at 2 o'clock in the morning and be like, here's the link for the thing tomorrow. He's gonna be like, okay.
easy.
You know, like
I don't sleep.
he as long as you're not irritating him by wasting his time, I really don't have a lot bad to say except
Thank you.
for he's gonna die alone.
I'm
But
to
he
die
knows
alone.
that.
I'm
He
going to die
knows.
alone.
He
I'm going
knows.
to die alone. Like honestly, I don't even like all my nieces and nephews. I'm going to die
You
alone.
need them. You need them because it's gonna be the one least likely. That's gonna be the one that comes and feeds you and stuff. Like
I know.
you have to have a semblance, or you have to have enough money that they're afraid that you won't
I
leave them.
I have money. So
Yeah,
my whole thing
you're gonna
is
have to put up a little trust and let them know like
I'm gonna I
it's
already
money for whoever step
yeah.
up.
I already have money. They have money. I have money. I'm gonna have home health care. Like I'll be
You're
fine.
gonna have to. You're gonna
I'm
have
gonna
to.
have a nurse. I'm gonna have a nurse that's gonna be my confidant. Like I'll be okay. But yeah,
You got it all worked out. That's so
I
funny.
already
You got it all
because it's
worked out.
true. I completely understand. You know, I heard about this living situation. Um, uh, what's the Helena Bonham Carter? If you know who she is,
Mm-hmm.
she was in like Harry Potter and Fight Club. She was married to Tim Burton,
Mm-hmm.
and they lived in houses right next to each other. And people used to think that was the weirdest thing. And I remember thinking that is the ideal marriage situation. Like I would love that. It's like, yo,
Mm.
you have your space, I have my space. we can share space, but we
whenever rich people, they show, like if you ever grew up watching television, whenever rich people live together, the wife always went her way and the husband always went his way. That told me so much as a child. Like only poor people share a room. Like, if we can split this up, I would
100.
be so open to having like an apartment situation, or like he's downstairs, I'm upstairs, or that would be so perfect
That's
for me. But Teron, we're we're not the ideal people to be having this
yeah,
conversation
we're
because
crazy. Yeah, we're not.
girls be like, I want him to hold me all night. Like, oh,
That sounds like a threat to me. That's a
yes,
threat.
yes.
Like, yo, your head is not weightless, bitch. Like, why are you?
My arm hurts.
Oh,
But
like,
honestly, like you said, as the relationship goes on, you don't hear people that have been married 10 years talking about he holds me.
yo,
You hear them like, where's your father? He in the room? I don't know.
yeah,
He
30
downstairs in
years
the basement. You
exactly.
know what I mean?
I concur. Like, completely agree. It's interesting, and I value those relationships. I value those relationships where it's like you can be yourself, and I don't think most people. You want to know? You don't know how to date. You don't know how to be yourself. Is the number one way you don't know how to date.
That's real.
You
I
don't know
agree
how to
with
be
that.
yourself. You don't know how to be open, honest, and be yourself.
Hmm.
You are going on this checklist, and you are checking these things off, and you're becoming the expectation that you expect the person to have. And two expectations dating are always going to become
That's the
one
worst
big
thing you could do.
disappointment. One
Expectations
big
are the worst.
disappointment. That's
Yeah, but
it.
I mean, you gotta be whole as a person before you start looking to date anyway. And nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to do the self work. To me,
Yeah.
that was what quarantine was for. Like that was the universe, Mother Nature, whoever saying, get to know yourself. You gotta get to know
100
yourself. And a lot of us realize that we're terrible people for the first time in our lives. You know what I mean?
a
Like,
100%.
I wouldn't date me. You know what I mean? Because I'm difficult, and I know it. You're gonna be like, hey babe, let's go pick apples. I'm gonna be like, boring.
But you know what it is?
No, I'm not
People
doing that.
think difficult and they don't realize it's I'm simple. Heather's simple. We're just difficult. People confuse easy and simple as if it's the same thing. It is
Yeah.
not. Easy and simple are not the same thing. Easy, some people don't like if something's simple, if something's easy, it just means you don't have to put any effort to do it.
Right.
When something simple means you know exactly what you have to do. You just have to be willing to do this or
Right.
be open to doing this. That's it.
Right.
It's very simple. If I told Heather, "Hey Heather J, I will give you $1 million to walk to the airport," it's not easy to do that, but
No.
it's simple. You could
Yeah.
do it.
It's one step. Right.
You would know where to go. You would know how to get there.
Right. Right.
You
Right.
just know it's not easy. So if
Right.
you want that $1 million, you will just walk to the airport, and that's how I feel a lot of times about dating. Anyway,
You
I
gotta
do.
go.
I have to go, and
I
I love your
know.
face. I appreciate you. I'm
Real
going to
quick.
start listening to this. You are.
I
I
want to have you back on when we don't have technical difficulties.
I'm down.
Because you're a pleasure. But one of my friends who doesn't know you has asked why you have on a purple velvet robe. Do you want me to
Oh,
tell her or do you want to tell her?
it's simple. I'm comfortable. Like I wear a bathrobe. I go out in a bathrobe.
He
I'll be at
does.
I'll be at nightclubs and I
He does.
listen. There's not a city in this country that I've been to that I'm not good. Like I'm
That's
good
very true.
everywhere. There's not a city in this world. I'm talking. We're going across the globe.
That's very true.
London, Paris. We could be in Morocco. I'm good. Like, and I'm getting in, and I'm in a bathrobe.
And just like that, he's getting in. Just
Yeah,
like that. I've seen him
and
do
it's
it.
not even a thing. And
And
I'm
nobody
getting
even
in first.
questions it. He wears
Yeah.
that robe everywhere he goes. So
So,
this is just the world of
I'm
Tehran.
just wearing robes. I like robes. I'm comfortable. I
And
don't put an
they're
effort.
always like velveteen. They're always really,
They're
yeah.
comfortable.
Yeah.
They're plush. They're plush.
And he always has a hat with his name on it because
Chains,
he
name,
might be a little
shirt.
bit of a narcissist too.
I
Um,
I
he, I'm
I
sorry, he
promote
calls
my
it
brand.
branding. He calls it
I
branding.
brand it, but here's the thing: I'm my own favorite team. I'm my own favorite brand.
Yeah,
So I'm just gonna. When people wear Ralph Lauren, that's his full name. Like you're wearing someone else's government
that's
name.
true.
So that's who I am. That's where it's at.
So that's the answer, Alicia. Thank you for the question. I think everybody kind of already knows how he gets down, and
Yeah.
he's at home during pandemic, so like the robe, like
Actually, just to let you know, I've been wearing the robe the least amount during the pandemic because I'm at home. I don't wear the
yeah.
robe when I'm at home.
Oh,
I
you just
wear
did
it
that for me?
when I
Oh,
go out. I wore the robe. Actually, I came in from being out, so you caught that.
and then you put the costume on up.
No, no, I was out, so I had the robe on, and
Oh
I
yeah, the
came
robe. Oh,
directly
okay,
to you.
okay, I get it.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's Toronto on brand. But I thank you for spending time with me. Thank you for the technical difficulty. I'm sorry you had to download StreamYard.
You know,
I'm
StreamYard.
sorry you had to go out and come back in. We'll
I had
try
to
to
go to
edit it
Chrome.
together.
I
I
know.
think we got I think we got some good content here though.
You're
Yeah.
hilarious. Like I have
How are
tears.
you?
Okay, I gotta go. I got a show.
Bye, love.
Love your face. Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Bye, guys. We'll see you next time.